Hey guys, welcome back to me and ADHD. It feels like it's been a while since I've done an episode, so we're doing a quick one today about intrusive thoughts. That's a hard one to say. Intrusive thoughts. Um, I don't know if you guys know what this is. I don't know if you have this a lot. I know I do. And I didn't actually realize this until recently after doing a lot more research and thinking and going back over my life and what goes on up here. I realized, yes, I do have a lot of intrusive thoughts, um, mainly prior to me having medication. I don't know if that's the medication has anything to do with it or how I feel now. Has that anything to do with it? I haven't got a clue. Maybe you don't. Please tell me. But intrusive thoughts, I'm going to struggle with that word, so I do apologize. It can be linked to ADHD due to the nature of the condition. Um, ADHD, as you know, is a neurodevelopment disorder that affects the brain's executive functions. Uh, this can include attention, focus, impulse control. Um, Individuals with ADHD often experience difficulties regulating their thoughts and attention. Yeah, that's me. Uh, and that can lead to a high likelihood of intrusive thoughts. Now, intrusive thoughts, I mean, it could, I think, guess a lot of people can have intrusive thoughts. It doesn't have to be someone with ADHD or someone who's neurodiverse, but I think the likelihood is more, is increased if you are. And with ADHD, though, it can be there with hyperactivity because people with ADHD may have a constant stream of thoughts running through their minds, thoughts that could be distractive and intrusive, um, and making it a challenge to concentrate on tasks and stay focused, I guess, on special topics. So, yes, all those things going on in your head that you just don't want to be there. And a lot of the time, there can be really negative thoughts as well. Not necessarily really dark, but just sometimes I just don't want to be thinking about this. Either it's not the place, it's not the time, or it's just I don't want to think about that. I don't want that in my head. Impulsivity as well. Again, that's because it's a common symptom of ADHD. I'm feeling a real jittery today. I'm using my hands a lot. I'm just hitting the microphone. I don't know why. Um, so yeah, impulsivity is a common symptom of ADHD, and it can sort of manifest and not in just what you do, impulsive actions. It's not always that, but it can also be impulsive thoughts, how you think, um, decisions you come up with. Um, but yes, impulsive thoughts as well. Individuals with ADHD may have impulsive thoughts that's totally unrelated to what they're currently doing or thinking about. So that can cause a real big distraction and interruptions. And it's like, oh, why? I feel myself personally, I feel like I'm quite wired today. I don't know why, just how it is, I guess. I'm not usually this animated, but today for some reason I am. So there we go. Um, what else is there about intrusive thoughts? It's really hard to filter them out. Um, it can make. I mean, it's really hard to filter out any sort of thoughts anyway, but it makes it really difficult to near on impossible sometimes for myself to filter out the thoughts you don't really want to be there. Um, it can be really stop you from doing what you're doing. It can really affect your mood as well. Um, because the thoughts aren't real, it's not necessarily something that's happened or something that you want to do. It can just be a random, sometimes stupid, um, thought that just keeps popping in your head, and it can, depending on what it is, it can make it bring you down. Um, it serves no purpose really, except for just again just kind of ruin your day or ruining the moment. Or it's hard to be productive when you've got these intrusive thoughts going in your head. And emotional dysregulation as well. It can really that can really trigger it, um, because of the negative, I guess, the negative connotations of these thoughts. Um, and your normal anxious thoughts as well can really sort of keep on going around and around and around, and these can really exacerbate, I guess, how you're feeling, the emotions you're already going through, the anxiety. It can increase your anxiety. It can really decrease your daily functioning as well. It's a tough one, and it's really one that's hard to not explain sometimes to people that you have intrusive thoughts. Sometimes it's hard to tell people what the intrusive thoughts are, because sometimes this might be something that you don't want to share. Um, and I've sort of been reading, and watching things online and reading articles. And some of the intrusive, oh my word, I tell you, I am struggling with this word. Some of the intrusive words, intrusive thoughts, people have had have been quite horrific. Um, Luckily, I personally haven't had anything that's that bad, or that negative. Um, However, I have had bad intrusive thoughts. Oh, can we name this something different, please? Can we say thoughts you don't want? That would be nice. That'd be easy to say. Um, overthinking, overthinking, and rumination. Kind of a similar thing. Going over these things again and again and again. Ugh, it's horrible. It is horrible, and it just ruins your day. It's, but it is important to note that while intrusive thoughts are or can be associated with ADHD, not everyone with ADHD will experience this. Um, and it can be influenced by other factors as well, be it trauma, depression, anxiety, things that have happened in your day to day life, um, mainly negative things. Um, so, especially if you suffer a lot from RSD, like I do, um, yeah, that is not going to help. And you can get it a lot, from anything that you I guess experience outside, um, and the negativity you perceive to be aimed at you. Those can be then manifest as negative thoughts going on and going over and over and over these, intrusive thoughts. They're hard. It's very hard. It can really bring you down, and I feel for everyone who goes through this at the time they're going through this. But it's, if you struggle, if you struggle with these kind of thoughts, if you struggle with anything, I got to be honest with you, with anything, it is good to talk. Now you might want to see a therapist, psychotherapist, psychologist, um, any professional, who's there to listen, and advise, um, but also a friend, family member, also someone online who you don't actually know, but you can relate to. This is why these support groups are so good. The podcasts and everything are so good, because there's a lot of people out there going through similar things. So talking through those experiences not only helps you, to cope and come to terms with things, but also helps other people as well. That's what I wanted to say today, guys. Um, it is a weird one to go through, to experience. It's not nice, and it's hard to actually tell people what the thoughts are for a lot of people. And I, but you know, talk to the people who are closest to you, who you trust the most, who are more open with you, and you feel more comfortable with about these thoughts. And it might be the case of, depending what the thought is, depending on who you talk to. So you might have two or three people you can talk to. Um, some of which one of which you'll talk to about certain thoughts about certain subjects, and another one you'll talk to about, again, some other thoughts and on another subject. So it's good. It is good to talk, but the therapists, the professionals, they are there to listen, advise if they can, and but listen mainly. I had a therapist. She was awesome. She listened a lot, and it was so helpful for someone to be non-judgmental and to just really try to work out what was going through my head and why. So, guys, interesting one. Have a think about it, guys. Another thing to think about. If you are thinking um, about the intrusive thoughts that you have or that you get, and they do worry you or they do annoy you, they upset you, they bring you down, if you're struggling with them, yeah, let's just find some people to talk to. Who can you talk to? Okay? Write that down if you have to, but work out the people that you can talk to, because you're not alone. Remember that, guys. You're not alone.